How'd you like to say hello?
Yes, yeah, say hello.
What do you feel? How you feel like being on TV? Makes you nervous, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does that.
Don't know what to say. Well, we had a fine visit.
Well, you sure enjoyed it.
Yep, glad to see you again after 4 years.
I guess in 4 years it's hadn't it?
Yep.
I think about 4 years on Christmas, wasn't it?
Yep. Hey, your hair looks real good. It makes you look younger.
I got a home hair, and I always comb hair from the back and front. Now it helps quite a bit.
Well, it looks good though. Looks good too. I think it looks better than when you were bald. Besides, when you got all that hair, you may as well flaunt it.
Yeah, just well. When I had that brain surgery, shaved all my hair off, and my hair got a little thicker after that. I got hair thicker than it used to be.
Yeah. Well, it sure looks good. Isn't it funny that it got thicker?
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people say they want to shave their hair off. But boy, a lot of people shave their old hair off. They don't help a bit.
Huh.
I guess see, rain's coming now probably.
Oh boy, we'll be able to take their pictures too.
Yeah.
Stimulating food. You're going down the road.
Chocolate is stimulating.
You gonna take her pictures?
Oh, gosh. I'm glad you're taking it. This morning I walked behind Elaine.
Hiding out, she's hiding out, isn't she?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't look my best this morning. I don't look very good any time, though.
Oh, bull. You do too.
This is really neat.
Yeah, see, I bet.
That neat? That's what we should have had, you know, about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's a great way to travel.
Yeah.
Oh, our cheese
It didn't
is
carry a
all
lot of stuff. Yeah, that got really wet.
Oh.
That one didn't, though.
Pour the water out of your cooler and just ice in it. Now that'll
Oh,
be
good.
Yeah, you want to stick it down in here, really?
There we go. Okay.
Well, I guess we'll see you guys.
Well, I guess we will see you because you're coming back.
Right.
Right.
You haven't, there's a continuation
Really
to all
nice to
this,
see
you know.
Sure nice to see you. Been quite a while since I seen you. Last time I seen you was drove our old what's it,
Cordova? No, they were here. You remember when Elaine was here when Kurt got married?
Well, that's
and
right,
Mary.
yeah.
Just Susan and I came that time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Lisa
Yeah.
didn't come.
Right. Rex didn't come
No,
either.
huh?
I don't know
One
where
time we went to go see Gordon and Margaret, and we went to
Elaine was over at St. Joe.
go to St. Joe. Yeah, you drove the car, Lord. I was sure glad that I sat in the back seat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
remember
just
that.
zipped right along,
Yeah,
didn't
just
we?
Uh-huh.
90.
No.
Wasn't 90? I mean, Highway 90.
I mean, no, that was
No,
not,
94.
94. I knew it was 90 something.
Yep.
Well, you guys, I'll see you. I'm going to put this away.
Okay.
Put it
Okay.
away now. See, the next time you come, like I said, I'll be prepared to tell you all these things because we got a big book, you know, it's the history of all the early settlers, you know, over County. And there's quite an article in there about Grandpa Hane and also Odie's grandpa, Bellarmine. Right, Odie?
When did they come over on the boat?
They don't
Yeah.
know for sure.
We don't know that.
They came over on a boat, so you got to start from scratch.
Right. But you know, I read about they have items in the Omaha paper about it. Well, what do you call it? Genealogical. Is that it? Find your ancestors.
What's it called?
Well, would it be genealogical
Oh,
or something?
yeah.
And the people write in to know if you, you know, to try to find their ancestors. You know. And it said that a lot of these people came into Canada and then they came over to the United States. And maybe that's why they couldn't find them. That maybe they didn't come into the United States with it. And I just wonder if that was happening, you know. But see, now Odie's cousin died. See, he lived in California, down San Bernardino. And I just wonder if that's what happened. He never could find them. And Johnny Mort. Oh, he's really got a lot. He really went on the Fitzkins. Yeah, I mean on the Morts, but now he's working on the Fitzkins, isn't he, Odie?
Well, where did they come when they first came over here? Where did they
Well,
come?
we don't know that.
Oh. How did they end
How
up
did they
here?
get to Nebraska?
But, well, they, to Minnesota is where they, that's the first place that, or the, you know, what I know. They were in Minnesota. And then they came to Nebraska. See, they homesteaded land, see? They came in wagons and things. And my mother was born.
What year was that they came here in wagons?
Well, I can't think of what year my mother was born in. Anyway, she was born in Nebraska, but my aunt was born in Minnesota. Now I'll figure that all out one of these days. You know, right this winter when I got a lot of time. And she was, so I could figure that out. You know. Oh yeah, there were Indians in here and everything when they came. Even my mother can remember the Indians.
Wow, I can't imagine coming across in wagons.
Yeah.
Long.
See, and then they homesteaded land, and like I said, my grandfather was a professor, and he wanted land and stuff, but he didn't care too much about farming. You know? Until he had sons old enough, then like my mother and her sister did a lot of the farm work. And then they cut the, what do you call the things they cut the grain with them days? Heaves, whatever, like saws. Sickles, yeah.
Yeah.
Sickles.
You know, and then they'd bunch it up, you know.
We had one of those.
Did you?
Yep. One day my dad got excited and sharpened it all up, went out and cut weeds with it.
Oh, I don't know.
And he was tickled. It still worked. How about some M&Ms?
Yeah.
I know Odie's out of M&Ms and I am.
Well, oops, I didn't bring the me. I mean,
Well,
here, Elaine, take a handful before.
well,
Take
say
it before,
that,
we'll just leave them
that act of
information.
clumsiness will be recorded forever for posterity because you just did that on videotape.
I did.
Smile at the camera. Well, hey, tell us, what about your store? You had a store?
Yes.
Odie was telling me about that. When did you buy a store?
1938. Right?
Yeah, 1938.
Where was it?
Down at the foot of Carney Hill, Nebraska City. Where the overpass is now, you know? Or maybe you don't remember, yeah. There's nothing there anymore, right?
Parking lot there?
What?
Is there a parking lot there?
No, it's an overpass, you know.
Oh.
They just, see, that was right down by the railroad track, you know, and they put this overpass in there.
Did you buy a store from somebody who already had it?
Right, we didn't know anything about the business at all.
How did you decide to buy a store?
Well, I think we had about $600. And we thought we invested in the store. Wasn't that something neither one of us knew anything about it? We had 3 little children. We had 3 little children. And Colleen was just really small, you know. And we went down there and it was groceries and meat and beer. And we invested our $600 and Odie's mother just kept telling us, oh, you just lost your money. Well, $600 those days, you know, was quite a bit to save up.
Hard to lose it in a store, though. You got your stock, and
Yeah, but if you don't have no business, you know.
well, you can always eat your stock.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's hard to lose in a store,
Well,
as long
yeah.
as you can use what you bought.
But we went down there and we really went to work. And these were real tough times.
WPA day.
WPA days. You don't never heard of it.
WPAs? What are those?
Well,
The
those were
government
people
paid
that instead of
about
getting,
$38 a month to work in them. They give the criminal, some of the rock quarries or spaces like that.
instead of just giving them food like they do now, you know, or giving them, they made them work. They did projects, you know, road projects, bridges.
So you had a lot of those as customers?
That's right. And what did they make, Odie?
Hmm?
What did they make a month?
The video would come right down to his lap. They'll be about $38 at first. They got $44 a month.
A month.
Wow.
And these are men with families. And we had a lot of those, but we worked hard and we built us up a real big business. and we bought this building. And then, let's see, well, we was in there 10 years. Then he bought a farm over in Iowa. And then the war came along, you know, World War II. So they said that my husband would have to be drafted
Oh, no.
because that was essential work in the store.
Oh.
So here I was pregnant with Dave, and you just to get women to work for you, you know. There was no men because it was an essential work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so Odie went and took his physical, and he had ulcers real bad, so they sent him home, and I was glad to have him back. And so then he went, he had to work at the bomber plant. He had to go to a war plant, you know, where they made the airplanes up here at Belmore, you know. And he worked
I
up
was
there.
36 years old when they drafted me,
Yeah,
put me in the army there. And 38 years old was the limit.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, well, you got out anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
that's good.
And he went over there to farm. He said he didn't like working in the defense plant, you know, and farming was necessary, you know. I mean, that was essential work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he farmed the farm, and
In Iowa?
yeah,
Where was the farm in
80
Iowa?
acres. It was over by what's the name?
Thurman.
Thurman, yeah.
No Mac Paul.
It was bottom ground.
Yeah.
Then we had a chance to buy this place, so we bought this place, and he farmed up here then a year,
Yeah, 1 year.
and then we sold the farm over across the river, and then we sold the store.
You farmed up here 1 year?
He farmed 1 year before we came up here. Didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, farm
Yeah.
1 year.
Well,
I
see, then we
bought a
had a
farm
lot
up
of
here
work
1
done
year.
in the house.
I worked in a store farm up here 1 year.
What was the house like when you bought it?
Just like it is now, except the plaster was falling down.
So we plastered the whole house.
We never changed
I
it.
got a bike load of plaster, old plaster out of every room.
Yeah, they plastered the whole house. All the
Somebody told me what did they use this house for during the Depression? Who lived here during the Depression?
The man that owned McCarthy.
McCarthy. Now, what business was he in to afford to build such a nice house?
Farming, and he married a lady that inherited a lot of money.
I wondered how somebody could afford to build a house
They
like
didn't-
this
they-
back then.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
have no family. This was really her home, wasn't it, Odie?
Yeah,
Woolsey's. Belonged to the
She's a,
Woolseys.
she's a wilting, and this McCarthy married her. And she's a woman that getting these stores, she's picking up anything she wanted, pick it up and pay for it.
Now watch out, this goes on tape.
That's she's telling me that.
Yeah, what do you call them?
And so he
Put
goes
them
down
in
to
there.
all stores in
Is
the
that
grass
what
scene,
it's
told
called?
them to fix anything happen to the store, they take it, they keep track of it, they pay,
Yeah,
pay for it.
you know.
That's interesting. So she was a shoplifter whose husband followed her around and paid for what she shoplifted.
Yeah.
You
Pretty-
don't understand, sometimes people's that way.
Yeah. Well, it's a
They
sick
just fix stuff and take it. That kind of woman she was.
Hmm.
They's really rich people,
Yeah, they were right.
and they own the.
They own the land over across the
over
road.
320 acres over there.
They owned one over north of us here.
How
Not the
many
next
acres-
farm,
How
but
many acres were in this farm when you bought it?
160. Oh, and then over where Ralph Franco is, Odie, they own that
They
too.
own that too, they're, 120 acres
Where
over.
Van Tyne James and,
They still own any of the land?
no.
Why did they sell?
Well, see, the older people died, you know, and they settled the estates and things. They just sold, the young ones didn't want it. So they sold it.
So the house was, all the plaster's fallen on. Why do you suppose it was? Just a bad job?
Well, after his wife died, why, he,
Who, McCarthy?
yes, he put seed, clover seed, corn, and the Odie.
They sold.
He had seeds in all these rooms, you know,
Oh, no,
these
no.
old seeds.
So it wasn't this house,
Oh.
this is the dining room,
Yeah.
you just put in the dining room. You put seed glass.
It was
Seeds in
really
the
that,
dining
that shape. you know,
Seeds? Well, how did you put them in the dining room? You put them in boxes or something?
Yeah, sacks.
Sacks.
He used to store sacks of seed in the dining
Mhm.
room.
In the living room here. And he lived in that little den, you know, in their little.
How about the upstairs?
Well, I don't think he ever went upstairs. I think he had a bed and stuff in that den.
Huh.
Really? And, you know,
That's peculiar.
and the kitchen. And the kitchen was bad. You did something to the kitchen, or you tore out
Yeah,
school.
He had rugs in the house, and he'd dump the rugs in, and he'd take the rugs up, and he'd have a big party, and he'd have a dance in the house.
Yeah, they had big parties.
He'd have a big party, have big parties.
Good place for
Yeah.
it.
We had a lot
We've
of
had
parties.
good parties.
We had a lot of parties here already too.
We have one here today.
I was thinking when we, I was setting the table there today. I thought, well, gee, I just really wondered how many guests we've really had. When we first moved up here, see, like a lot of our customers down at the store came, and when we first moved up here, a lot of our old customers from down the store would come up here, to see us, Well, we'd really have some big parties up here. I mean, they weren't just customers; it was really friends, And see, like during World War II, you know what I mean? You couldn't get no nylons, you couldn't get overalls without what do you call them, Odie? What do you have to have? Permit.
Ration coupon?
Coupon, Why, my gosh, we never wanted a thing. They'd come and give us theirs even, or if they had an extra one or something, they'd buy the thing and bring it to us. I think I had more silk stockings, well, it was silk those days, you know what I mean, than anybody in Nebraska City. I think I had more than they did in the store. So.
How long customers did use all those stamps up in there?
So you had to have stamps to buy meat?
And some poor people didn't even have any stamps, didn't have
Well,
any kids on it.
Yeah.
We give them stamps so you can buy meat and stuff like that, buy the groceries.
See, like if there was just like widow ladies or
That was just a way of bending the rules to accommodate all people, right?
and I felt sorry for them. If they bought a pound of butter, they could not buy any meat. It took all their coupons for the whole month. And see, here was a family, that had, maybe 7 children. And they couldn't afford to buy all this stuff anyway to begin with,
Right.
So they'd give us the coupons to give the other people.
Who could afford to buy it?
Right. The people that only had the one coupon that couldn't, if they bought the butter, they couldn't buy meat, then they
So
could
they-
have meat and butter both.
That's
That's
really
great.
nice.
Yeah, and shoes. Shoes was the same thing. And when we bought that old refrigerator we have out there in the garage, we had to get a permit up at the courthouse, didn't we?
Yeah.
To buy the refrigerator and the stove.
Hmm.
Those were rough days. And the meat was all rationed out, and the sugar and things. And but our customers were really nice. We'd go and have, the ones that got roasts and steaks one week, next week they got hamburger and something else, and that way we tried to satisfy the whole bunch.
Wow.
But they really worked nice with us, didn't they? We had a nice bunch of people, and of course we had a big beer business.
I couldn't get enough meat and packers. I butchered a few steers and sold meat in the store. And for the last, he passed on you. Anybody going to the grocery store, they get so many beefs a month. So they have help.
Yeah, you could go out and buy a beef and have it dressed, and sell it.
You couldn't buy cut beef, but you could buy a cow and then have it dressed.
Steer, whatever it was, But boy, those are really days. That's rough. And then we had to treat the stamps just like we did money. We had to turn. It seemed to me like we had to put them all on sheets, didn't we?
On the cards, and
Yeah.
it's only on a card.
And then we had to take them to the bank and deposit them,
Oh.
Just like, and then see when you bought from the wholesaler, like for sugar and things, or the packers, you had to give them like a check, but only it was for the stamps too, It was like you had to write out a check, like for
How long
cash,
did that go
to
on?
pay for it. But you also had to write out a check with these stamp credits.
So how long did that go on?
Oh,
All
how many
the
years?
whole 5 years? Whole years of the war?
Must have been about 4 or 5 years. I
Yeah,
think.
it was quite long. It was rough.
A lot of work.
They check your groceries, see, you only get a certain price. You couldn't
Oh
overcharge.
yeah, price control.
One day, I used to buy from,
That was,
Imagine.
yeah, but that was a good deal.
Yeah.
I cut it high, cut
See,
his
because,
salesman for him.
You know,
Or
we
get
had
that
extra
scarce.
sugar or something, you know,
He came to the store one
price
day
it,
and I
you know,
was
3
cutting meat.
times, and the people.
He said,
in
where's all
bed
the
and
stamps you're supposed to throw in that
distributed
price on your meat?
And really, that was
meat.
real good, you
It's
know, not
very
only us,
good.
but every store could have done it.
Price on meat, and he laughed after that, and he said, oh, you
Yeah.
Well,
He said, I never seen, he says, you don't have to do that, he said, that's a kid.
but, so that was really
It's
good,
kind of
you know.
scared me out.
Yeah, they'd come, you know, and they'd
I was
swoop in
a
the store
customer,
and go
they
around,
just
check
kind
all
of
your
scared
prices.
me out.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
maybe you
they-
were doing something
They
wrong.
do that often?
Oh, well, you never knew. They said, well, how often did they come around check stores? About once a month?
Yeah, once a
Wow,
month.
Mhm.
that's quite often.
Yeah. And the same way with the liquor, you know, you had to send in a report every month, you know, of what you bought and how much you had on hand, you know, and everything. And if you didn't, they came and took your license away from you till they got your report. So there was a lot of bookwork them days.
I'll bet.
I
You
go
should
there,
have had a computer.
I made out the report one time and had notarized and guy at the bank, he didn't sign it, and he's motor Republican. He went to work in the motorizing and everything, he didn't sign it. The old guy came down, I was going, I was over his farm, and he came down, took the license down, didn't have a license, he came back a few days, gave it to me again.
Yeah. But you had to get it in, you know.
That old banker, he didn't sign it, that, he notarized, he didn't sign it.
And they'd come
He had
up.
sampled the dang whole thing. He didn't sign it, he had to sign it. Well, they're pretty strict about stuff like
Yeah,
that.
they were. I'm sure there was a lot of people getting by, you know, without, you know, but they still the ones that was around here was doing their job.
I was down the store there in Gordon, he comes up and then on the store and he's hanging around there and pretty soon the guy said, give me one beer, give me a beer, and Gordon get a beer and Gordon sold out of beer to the customers.
What was he, like 12 years old or
Yeah,
something?
that's right.
I mean, you know, then, you know, he was younger than that when we went down there, but yeah, he helped us long enough. And then we have, another thing he did that one time, you know, but this was good, you know, Gordon was always real sharp about business. You know, here he was, you know, I'm not lying, he bet he is, you know. And so we knew this guy was stealing these cigarettes, you know, from us. But we couldn't catch him. So we went and, so he always brought a basket along, so a bushel basket. And then he'd put his groceries in this bushel basket, you know what I mean, and take home, you know. Well, he'd come in, you know. He'd come over, you know, and he'd have like, he'd always go behind the counter, you know, and over by the beer side and go and get his tobacco. Then he'd show you like 2 cans of tobacco or something like that, you know, and he'd throw them in this basket, you know. Well, we knew he took some cigarettes, but we just couldn't catch him at it, you know, we didn't know what he was doing with them. So Gordon heard us talk about this, you know, to, you know, together, you know, we was talking about it. So he'd come up sometime when we got real busy and our help would be gone, you know what I mean, for the day, you know. But he'd come up and help us, you know. So this one time, this guy came in, you know, and sure enough, he had his basket, you know, and he goes over and gets his tobacco and throws it in, you know. Then he comes, you know, over at the counter and picks up his things and puts them in the basket, you know. See, those were the days when we did the running and got the can of beans, you know, not they picked it up and brought it to the checkout stand, you know. They gave us the order and then we put it up, you know. That's the way we used to do it, you know. So Gordon says, oh, he said, I don't think I wrote down something here. He says, I'll have to take your groceries out of the basket and see if I got that checked off. And Gordon found the cigarettes.
What'd the guy do?
Oh, he said, oh, I guess I forgot to tell you. See, and he'd been doing it a long time. Must have been doing
I
it.
never say it was he'd pick a customer of mine.
Well, yeah, he was a good customer. But just the same.
Cigarettes is only about 2 packets per quarter, so you can holler for a quarter.
Yeah, but Odie, that didn't make any difference if it was 2 for a quarter or if it's $1.25 a package. Now, you'd only made the same amount of profit, you know, in comparison, you know. And then
They pop off the groceries, I didn't say too high. I wasn't sure where it was the deal.
well, I know, but that ran into a lot of money every time you came to the
If someone
store.
comes by
Yeah.
groceries, get
Got
get
free
2 packets of
cigarettes.
Yeah.
Free cigarettes, you know.
What
You'd
are
be
good-
surprised what people. Now, there was another guy, you know. He came in, you know, and I know he got away with cupcakes. You know, it was a nickel a package, you know. And he had money, you know what I mean? It wasn't even the other guy, you know. He could afford to pay for the things, you know. It wasn't that he was so poor, you know. But and this guy would get away with these little packages of cupcakes, you know. It's interesting when you get to really work. Well, yeah, I bet you find out a lot of things working with the public, don't you?
Oh, they don't try and steal things, though.
Don't they?
Well, we work on cars.
Yeah.
Well, we did it. We had a phone in the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
That got stolen.
Yeah.
Somebody took the phone.
They wouldn't want parts picked up and had it in the home.
No, we keep them in a room, separate room.
Oh, well, that's
People can't get at things.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think the important thing about people stealing is if you give people an opportunity to steal,
That's right.
temptation, they might take
That's right.
even
In
an
the
honest
store.
person.
See, that's what they told us, you know. Well, we had just had a cigar box behind the bar, you know. That's where we put the money in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so, salesman or something told you one time, he says, don't tempt them, you know, tempt the help.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty easy for them to take $1 or $2 or $5, you know. There's nothing, no record there of how much
Kept
we
your
took
money in a
in.
cigar box?
We just dumped the money. We had a cash register, and then at the end of the
The
day,
guy,
we take.
we bought out, he didn't have a cash register, he had a box where he wanted the beer counter.
Yeah,
He put the money in the beer in that box, and so I only got a
Cash register.
We had one clerk that every once in a while I'd see $1 bill in, it was already done. Pretty soon I looked in there, she put her sweater in the old back room there, and I took the old, looked in her pockets, and every night she took $1 bill from us.
well, she
One
went
time-
to
one
$20
time-
out of my
One
purse.
time her brother came down and got in the seal.
Well, I missed it, you know.
Took a
So she
$20 bill
go
in her pocket,
downstairs
and
and
they
she-
got in her house.
We lived down below, you know. And she'd go down and eat, you know. And, you know, we'd let her have her time, you know. Remember, she stayed down there half an hour, watched it, you know. And I missed that money one time, and I thought, well, maybe I did spend it, she didn't know, you know. And then we found the $20 bill. So I called her, and her mother answered, and I told her, I said, well, I said, you asked me if she lost a $20 bill. There was a $20 bill laying on the floor in the bathroom where she had a coat. You know, and I said, I thought maybe she lost that. And she never came back to work again.
Oh.
See, she was guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty and sloppy, too.
All right.
I wouldn't say so much as take $1 bill, you take a $20 bill.
Yes.
There's a lot of money in the store.
Yeah, that's a lot of profit to make
Them
20
days,
bucks.
a lot of
Jack.
profit.
Yeah.
Well, really, those days, $1 was a lot of profit.
That was that.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Because when you figure it's not just the profit you would make on $1. That's clear profit that's lost.
that's right.
So what was your profit margin on?
Oh, my gosh.
50%,
Oh, no, 15 to 20.
15 to 20.
Yeah.
So that meant you had to sell $5 worth of food
That's right.
to make $1.
That's right.
I think that's probably still what it is.
Eggs.
Car parts, it's 50%.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think in the grocery stores now it's 50% too.
Sometimes it seems that way.
I'm sure.
I think
it
the
is.
grocery store now, they just
But see,
something,
this
they
was,
make,
you know, like back in
they
30
make
years.
something
You know.
5 or 8% off also.
Well, really, it was just out of depression.
Some stuff.
See, it was really still depression.
How long did the depression last? Before you really felt like you were back in the chips, in the 40s.
Well, I suppose it was. See, when the war came to an end, everything boomed, you know.
Yeah. What was it like living during the depression? How did you guys get by? A lot of people did really bad. How come you guys prospered, had enough money to buy a store?
I think out of every paycheck, we put so much away. You know.
Who did you work for then?
A lot of well, when we lived in Kansas City, we worked at a seed company.
I worked for this really
Big
packaged
seed
seed
company
company.
down there, you know.
Seed company.
And he made $16 a week.
Well,
Wow.
me, I got $12 a week and worked 10 hours a day, and Louisville got in there and he passed that NRA, and then they had to pay us $16 a week and 40 hours work.
Yeah.
Boy, I thought we had it. I thought heck, we
Well, we thought he was really rich. You
for
know.
40 hours,
And I know.
40 hours a week and
when,
get $16 after something. That's where 10 hours work gets $16.
when we
Wow.
came back to
$12.
Nebraska City, we rented this little house and we bought 3 rooms of furniture and we paid cash for it. And even really had nice carpet, didn't we?
We did that.
And then Well, then times got bad again for us, see? But we always managed to say, well, my folks didn't give us money, but they gave us a lot of food. You know, eggs and butter, and my brothers would come in, you know, with a side of beef, you know, and say, oh, you know, just a little bit of nothing, you know, we pay for it. In the Odie, yeah. And then see, yeah.
When were you, when you were living in Nebraska City?
Mm-hmm.
If I stayed down in Kansas City, I'd be better off.
Yeah, but see,
But I did better and can come back as I work in a lot of places. I worked for that government beef. They had some old poor cattle, you know, they starving and now west of Nebraska and the United States want them old cattle. They kill them, they can them and give them to poor people. So I got a job working on there 3 days a week, $8.40 a week.
yeah, but that's not the reason we came back, Odie.
Huh?
That's not the reason we came back. Odie's mother wanted us to come back to Nebraska City. And Carl and Odie's older brother Ralph, they had brought out this filling station. So there was another filling station for sale down in Auburn.
Yeah.
And Bud and Odie was supposed to get that. And we came back. Well, the thing fell through and because they I think they starved it.
I didn't get that station. That's how I went to finish.
And then he went to work at the brickyard when things got a little better. But a lot of weeks, you know, we lived off of, you know, like $4. You know, and we always paid our house rent. But this night, really, it was a nice little house. We paid like $12 a month rent. And now what do you get for, you don't even buy, you don't get to sleep in a motel for $12.
No.
I work for a really sad factory seed company, you know.
I'm trying to think
Kansas
what
City
would
for a year.
cost $12.
Go down to Kansas City, you can get
Nothing anymore.
Get that pork chop 15 cents a pound.
Like new,
Boy, stuff is cheap.
none of your
Yeah.
bills.
Now the wall seems to pound back to
So we were talking about the other day, you know,
18 magazine like
the
this,
fruits,
chicken
you
oil,
know,
he buy one or
our
two,
light
she
bills,
I
you know.
dress up.
well, we was
Well,
talking
you get sick
about
over
mail.
that.
I'll
and
bet.
So you might buy more
we
than
gave
3
you a
pounds.
light bill. You know,
Pork
it's
chop,
like
you
college,
buy.
you know, because you save about
We had a nice little
$4 or
A&P
$5
store right
in
by
a
my
certain
apartment
day.
there.
And so
They had nice hamburgers.
I called them and asked them,
It was
what was
higher,
it
but
that we didn't get
it's
it?
a nice and fresh hamburger.
And then she said $80.
I'm a lot of bush now.
Well, now that's just for,
These store
you know, all we have is a
Must
stove
be
and a
lots of
freezer
sugar.
and a refrigerator, see, and electric water, you know. But that was just electricity, you know. But then when Ruth said how much hers was, I can't remember how much it, yeah, but Ruth, that was gas and water and lights. And this is just lights. Of course, our yard lights, it costs about,
Yeah.
what is it, $9 a month, you know. But I wouldn't do without that.
No way. That's really nice.
Right.
Cost you $9 a month
Mhm.
for, you mean for renting it?
Yes. The
For your
Mercury
yard
light.
light?
We started out with 4, and that's how much it raised.
$9 a month. That's a lot.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do
How long
that.
make one life, that's
You can buy one for about $40 and put it
Yeah.
up, pay for the electricity.
I
Costs you a
know.
lot less than that.
No, it really isn't.
You figured it out.
Because Keith, you know, and Arlene got one really, you know. I don't know, no, I
They're
think,
about
I don't
40
think
bucks and
Bill's
they,
is.
they're 175 watts.
I think the one, I think,
I think that was a 300 watt out
yeah.
there. It's 300 watts, if I do right.
You get,
That's
we
gotta
got
go.
the big one to begin with, but then, you're about a year ago, didn't we have, it burned out, you know, then or something, and they had to come put a new one. And I didn't quite think this is as bright as the old
I don't
one.
think it was either.
We have a real
The most of them are
good
175.
light in our driveway. It lights up the whole driveway
that's
and our
great.
neighbor's
500 watt.
driveway too.
Mhm.
So I feel real safe with that.
Oh, I wouldn't do it without that line.
It's real nice.
But we thought, last year, I know, in one of the hot months, you know, see, we had the 2 air conditioners going day and night, you might say. One up in our room and this one down here, you know. And I think our light bill is $100. But I still think we're paying too much. Really. You know, even like in the wintertime, you got about like $40. Of course, you got the fan on the furnace, but I don't think that should cost too much. Run, do you?
The rates go down in wintertime and summertime, it puts rates pretty high in Canada.
What kind of heat you got? Gas?
No, oil.
Well, What's your oil bill like in the winter?
I'm not telling you.
Outrageous.
You're bragging about $12 a month rent. You compare it to what?
I'd heat my house for $12 a month, take a bed.
Yeah, well, if you could heat your house for $12 a day, you'd probably be tickled to death.
Yeah, what that?
Oh my God, you can't clean it for $10 a day. Not when it's cold.
No, and
That's
it
for
gets
sure.
cold around here.
It really does. This is a lot of space to heat.
I'll bet. You got a lot of insulation?
No, not too much, I don't think.
It's an old house, honey.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I really like it.
We got a guy bought, he had got out of
The guy you bought it
cardboard,
from.
cardboard boxes. He put them all for the ceiling up and all that holds up, keeps it warm, you know.
Well, that's up above it. I mean, really,
That ceiling is about.
we talked about insulation a lot, but we never did do it. We'd have to have it blown in, you know, really. And, well, see, when they knocked all the plaster down, you know, a lot of it fell back, you know. See, there's lath on this, you know. And it fell down, and I don't think you could get, you know, some places it's blocked, you know, so you think you'd be without insulation a lot of places.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to do a complete job.
I see now that.
And for what it costs.
See, the insulation ain't no good for a house. Ain't no good for the people here.
Oh, some kinds, yeah. I think one way they do it is they take bricks out, take one brick out, blow it in there, and then they put the brick back in.
Yeah, they do.
That'd be tough to do though.
Bill Colleen had their house.
Yeah, they have their house that way, and Bill
When
says
they
only,
remodeled.
it's only about this far down, and all the way down.
When they moved
Yeah,
down
no,
there.
I've
that house
never
versus-
seen that place, I don't think.
But they say now that
Yeah.
people should air
I don't
everything,
remember
should
it
have.
at all.
You went right by
This
it
house
last
that way,
night, it's
because
on number
it's hard to
2.
help.
Oh,
But,
It's wrong kind of
it's
hand.
5 miles.
Wrong kind of
north
heat
of
there,
us.
yes.
the other
You
one.
wouldn't think so, would you?
Yeah, west.
But you know, I guess, you say, you only taking the
So
sun's
if you
day
came in
down
on
the salt,
Tuesday,
you
Yeah,
have to
we
get
did.
much to make the house.
But they put up a great
You
big
think that's where you get
machine
your house,
shed
gets that way
down
from
there.
10, but, you know, it's insulated, and it's
Uh-huh.
cheap.
Put concrete down in the lot.
Sometimes maybe it ain't insulated, because have a lot of good
Yeah,
fresh air anyway.
So
Yeah, that's true.
stand in the mud in the winter time.
It breezes a lot.
Yeah, it does that.
They was just, you know, in mud up to their
Of course, I could put
bellies
fans in
and-
here, man.
Oh.
Oh, it was
Circulate
awful.
off, heat off that ceilings, that lot of, these high
Is he doing
ceilings in
okay?
them.
Oh, yeah.
It was fine.
How high are they?
Now,
9 feet?
I see, he's,
Down on
the
nine-
man that
nine and a half-
owns this
nine and a half
farm
feet, I
is,
think.
you know where they used to live, you know, in
Mhm.
that house, you know?
And I hate that.
See, they moved it, Bill Colleen
I-
moved
I-
into
I
his
take
dad mother's
I
house.
take both these lights out.
Okay,
put on these-
but
these
this
cool in
Worth
there, I guess
place,
it'd be all right.
now
that'd help.
both Mr. and Mrs. Worth
I-
died, and heirs was
I take the
trying
lights
to
out.
sell the land.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're pretty
And
nice.
Dolly wasn't going to get in, you know, and, but they haven't sold it yet, so Bill put in the wheat. And so they told him that, you know, if they do sell it, well, they have to pay him for putting in the wheat. But he just got his dad's other farm, you know, now, so he's, if they sell that, he's gonna be short on land this year, you know. But, I don't think, I think by the 1st of December, if they haven't sold it by the 1st of December, then Bill needs to keep it another year, don't it?
Bill said they'll be able to sell it, it's got too high a price
Yeah,
on
they
it.
had, not be offering the price.
People won't probably pay too much for land anymore.
How much an acre does land cost around here?
One time it cost $20, $2,000 an acre,
21,
$21 an acre.
farm up here's over 20.
I mean, $200
$210 an acre?
$200 an acre.
Like
How much it cost- how much it cost now?
But then you'd have to pay so much income.
What do they ask for land now?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
this
much,
year, about 6 months ago, I heard it.
Some
Some farms sell about $1,200,
Oh,
something,
Yeah,
I guess
know
it's
what you
perfect,
mean.
she'll get that.
that I said you wouldn't,
Would be worth
and
it.
then, you know,
How they-
like the kids
my-
all
my
said,
land.
you got your land,
That
you know,
yeah.
I mean, you know,
You
your
got
land's
good to
always.
get $1,000 an acre?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't quite see it that way, along with.
I get that. $200 an acre,
We
this
want
farm's
you to
in the
keep
bought
it.
this farm,
It
and
sounds
cost them also. I sold for $1,000 an acre, I had like,
I don't think Grandpa was
Yeah.
selling one.
made a lot of money off it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just rents the land out there.
Yeah.
That's
But
neat.
then,
Yeah.
them guys that farm Bill's farm, that they just wanted
But,
$1,800 negative person, they came down 15, they still can't sell it.
it's quite,
Oh, yeah.
it's, you know what I mean,
And
it's.
they might have to go down
Well,
cheaper
the
next time
prices
they
are
decide
so
to do this
bad.
farmers.
A lot of farms are up for sale.
Oh, yeah, all the young.
A lot of farmers are quitting.
Young
can't
farmers.
We
make
can't
it.
make it. It's terrible.
Yeah, like a new tractor or something. What do new tractors cost, Odie, you know, maybe like $20,000?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
So
some,
maybe
some
more
get
than
a
that.
big,
And the combines, you know.
you get a big tractor, costs around $70,000,
that's
and
what-
combine $70,000.
We need
And young kids,
farmers.
they bought all that
Yeah,
tractors.
well,
They
and
buy
just
tractors,
now like
and,
this year then, you said, well, they
that
make
was
money
pretty fair,
available for the farmers now, you
depreciation
know,
on
to
it,
rent,
didn't have much-
to
didn't have
borrow
much
at,
tax on it now.
low interest rate.
They
That
get
isn't
different,
what
they have
farmers
tax on
want.
it.
They don't wanna borrow more money.
Right, put them more in debt.
Yeah, they're just deeper in debt.
Mhm.
You know, what they want is decent price for their crops so they can make a,
Right.
Well, you know who's making money on the crops?
yeah,
Packagers, the processors.
right. See, now
The
they,
managers.
a whole bunch of farmers went, now these are young guys. I think the young guys are gonna do something. Because they're getting more educated. You know, the old farmers was all real trusting, you know. A verbal contract was just as good as a written one, you know what I mean, and all this and that. Well, that's not that way anymore. And, see, these young guys went back to the grain exchange in,
Grain exchange was.
yeah, grain exchange, in Chicago. And boy, they're really raising heck with them because they're the guys that are making the money.
That's right. The brokers.
Right.
What they did, sometimes you see beans go down 20 cents a bushel, corn 20 cents a bushel. I see now they won't go down about 2 cents a bushel. That's been harmed, but boy, the speculators made a lot of money off the grain for off the farmers.
Well, sure.
And they ain't gonna be able to do that anymore. The farmers gonna harp on it.
They should. They better. They're the ones who have to do all the work.
Right.
You know how they end.
Yeah, it's
They
really
want to
hard work.
cheap
for them
land to
'cause they
build
work
a
themselves,
hotel.
so. And like a lot of the farmers, you know, are just like,
$50.
like Gerald and Bill,
He said
and
you have to pay
people build
$100
don't have
for much
homes
less than
anymore, but has
contractors.
cattle, and you know, in the winter
Yeah,
time,
that's
that's
hard
really a hard spot
The
to get
commons
out
and
there
grass
and
seeds,
take care of
the
cattle in
centers,
cold weather,
Take
you know,
grass
and it has to be done.
raise our taxes and be held.
They really work hard, you know,
Yeah.
putting up the hay
You know,
and
but
grinding the feed.
and town people, how they gonna
And
have
everything.
left vote?
It's a lot of hard work.
They have to pay a bunch of town people, then they're gonna
And I think Bill Clinton.
Come to vote in that. They
I
want
mean,
that.
it's just, they work hard at it.
get it, they're gonna tax,
Remember when they used
farmers,
to run
tax
those
rate on
pigs
their
and-
land.
Wasn't it? Oh.
Yes. we
Heck,
drove it.
Now he
Like
just
that,
can't stand,
They got-
can't
they got
stand pigs
the
go.
bad roads here.
The neighbors up here, they
Much
have
more
raised pigs, you know, they buy the
In town, they
baby
got their own
pigs, you
pavement,
know,
they
and
got-
they feed them out, you know.
like
And when
that
the
wall,
wind's
they-
in the
they
south,
pick up their
it's
old,
a lot of
garbage,
humidity
stuff
out
like
there.
that.
It just might as well be right
Police,
across the
police,
road.
we ain't got the
It
police
smells so bad,
protection,
you know.
nothing like that.
And
Fire
Bill
department
said, oh, you just can't
fire
stand it,
department,
you know,
they
like,
got that stuff,
oh, brother.
We're getting those farmers
I
in,
can remember we
tax
came to your
them,
place a lot of times.
courthouse up here, we had
I
to pay all that.
remember that too,
Help-
going there
help
to
with
visit
taxes
them.
to pay that.
Now, the cattle is
How
incredible.
they gonna build a jail in
in
there?
their homes, you know.
Farmers
But,
have to take that.
But of course, we don't, we really, we
But,
don't get the.
we can't- they can't prepare a farm
They
on
go
that.
an awful
How
lot,
they
too.
end
They
with
have
that?
a lot of friends that they.
How they end up go 10 floors
And they go to a lot
If
of,
we could raise.
they go to all,
Like they could go 10 floors.
Nebraska
We
City
could make money
game,
on
high
money,
school
bring it up.
games and
Tell
lords,
the government.
basketball,
That's we
football,
can't make
and
us
which is
speak
real
that
nice.
piece
You
of
know,
holiday,
they
but
patronize.
They
them.
go 10.
And they go,
10 floors,
they
we
buy
had-
season
we-
tickets to the
We don't
Nebraska
have 3 days
basketball
on one
games.
crop a year.
Then,
But they,
I guess there's about 3, 4.
They can't expect us to pay much holiday.
You know, and
That's right.
of course she's busy with the kids, you know, too, you know, so we really don't get down there very often. Tell the truth about it, do we?
Hmm?
We don't get down to Bill Colleen's very often,
Oh,
you
huh.
know. You know, and Bill is treasurer of the rural fire department down in their area. So all these little things, you know, they go to their
Mhm.
meetings and things. You know. But we talk to them all the time, you know, and they come up a lot,
Mhm.
which is real good too.
I was so glad they came to the wedding.
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't have missed that, you know.
Yeah.
I was so
Gordon,
glad
he's-
they did too.
He's a good little bartender. He
Good.
went, he only pulls to sell liquor, he's too young, but he liked it, he'd come to the store after school, he'd get behind that bar and when the guys.
Well, I can tell you one thing, boy, you see that he got paid for something every time he sold it. You know what I mean, you know,
Mhm.
like a lot of them, you know. he won't pay you right away, you know what I mean, you know, and Gordon knows it. That's, what was a bottle of beer those days, 20 cents?
10 cents a bottle.
10 cents a bottle?
I used
Oh
to
my
sell
God.
six pack for 50 cents.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why an old beer they have, any kind of beer
It's
has
amazing.
50 cents.
Mhm.
That's a good old time.
And so he would say, that'll be 10 cents, please.
Yeah, yeah. No, I believe it was a little more than that, because it seems to me like we sold beer for 10 cents a glass. Then it was 15 cents.
No, we sold a bottle of beer 10 cents a bottle, and sold a glass of beer for 10 cents. We had a keg of beer, so keg of beer 10 cents a glass. That was pretty cheap beer then, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we had laughed at, you know, Aunt Trey, you know. After Harold went to the army, why, she came work for us, you know. And so that was new to her to draw a glass of beer, you know what I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So then she says, Odie says, well, always put a little head on it, about like that, you know. But don't put too much on, because, you know, then they'll fuss because they're not getting their 10 cents worth of beer. So one time she drew out a glass of beer, you know, and she didn't have no foam on, so she left it this much empty, and she says, I haven't got any foam on this, she said.
All they have to do is just hold the glass with a lower than that pressure.
Yeah, you had to really hold the glass a certain way, you know.
She held it real close to
Used
the
to
faucet
do
up high, you know, that's
Yeah.
why they foam. But the people didn't like that beer, they thought they had a flat beer, didn't have any foam.
Yeah, they wanted foam on there, but they didn't want like a half a glass of foam either, you know what I mean?
You know,
They just wanted it perfect every time.
For 10 cents, they shouldn't have complained.
Yeah, but boy, I'll tell you, 10 cents those days is about like $10 today. It was just about when it was for.
Had a customer, had quite a few children, and he got towards last year, he got to $44 from the government. He comes down and gives them the whole darn check, and sometimes he didn't have enough, didn't have enough for it to be a dollar,
Didn't have no
$2,
money
something like that.
left, they paid
I
it
just
up.
paid to take it all in, gave it to
You know, that was amazing.
After he's out
You
honest.
really felt sorry for me on that.
Yeah.
These one
These
people, you know, they were, you know,
That beat you.
real good customers, you know, and they was really, you know, they didn't buy anything extravagant or anything like that, you know, but they was having a hard time. They had about 4 or 5 children, I think. And so I asked her one time, you know, if she'd want to do our laundry. And oh, she was just tickled, you know, because that gave me a little extra money. You know, I don't remember what she charged at all, you know. And here Odie had $50 stuck in his shirt pocket, you know. And she found that, and she just brought it right on down to the store. He didn't even remember that he had put it in there. Now, you know, she could have had that $50 real easy. But that's, you know, people was really, you could trust them.
Most of
Yeah,
them.
most of them. It's, you know, it does, I think everybody should work out among the public
Yeah.
sometime in
Why
their
did you
life.
sell your store?
Why did we sell
Yeah,
it?
you just got tired of being married to it?
You bet. That's just exactly it, you know. You're in the store like that for about so long, you take so much. You're just glad, yeah. And then another thing, see, the kids was getting bigger, and then that was the wrong environment for them, you know, really. So we moved up. Bought the farm, and Odie wanted to farm. It was very,
So how long did you farm out here?
we moved out here in January of '48. We bought the farm in November of '46.
This farm here?
So we've been out here a long time.
You mean you bought this farm here in '46 and this farmhouse and everything?
I had the cash paid for it too. So I
Yeah,
saved
that
more
was
money than I
nice.
bought on 106 acres.
Wow.
1 acre I got for 16,000, and then another acre at 24,000.
No, we paid, we paid $200 an acre for this farm. It was 32.
Oh yeah, we only did.
32,000.
We had down 32,000.
Well, then, I don't know how many years after it was, but then,
My dad moved on a farm in 1950.
was that right?
I was 1 year old.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. That was when we moved
Dave
on
was
the farm.
4 years old when we moved up here. And then my cousin had a farm down there, and that's, well, you have to come and stay a long time so we can show you all this stuff. And she wanted to sell it, her husband died, and she wanted to sell this farm, and so her son-in-law said to Odie about that farm, you know. Well, we had a lot of opportunities to buy farm when we was in the store before we bought this one, but we didn't do it, you know what I mean? And see, after we bought this farm, you know, we should have bought more land, see?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Because
increase.
land was less expensive then.
If I don't have one working that paid half in this farm, and wouldn't have any trouble paying it all. Bought 2 farms to one, and that had a lot more.
Then we did buy 80 acres from my cousin. Well, we looked at this other farm, didn't we, first? And we had signed the papers, really, you know what I mean, you know, and we made a down payment. And then one of my aunts had a mortgage on this farm, and she wouldn't release the mortgage. And we had the cash to pay, and we didn't know why we had to pay, you know, have a mortgage on it if we didn't need to have it, you know. But we got out of that then, because they didn't tell us that. The real estate man didn't tell us it was mortgage on the farm. So that was his,
That wasn't good.
no, he made a good move.
Uh-huh.
And, well, then we bought this 80, didn't we?
Yeah.
There was another 80 right next to it, these old German people had owned. And then he was dead, I guess, and she still had the farm. Then she died, so they sold the farm, and so the real estate man came and asked us if we wanted to buy it, and so we bought that. And that's how we got involved with all this farm.
Why'd you tear the barn down?
Why did we tear it down?
Yeah.
Well, Odie was scared it was going to fall down, and they advised us that we had to, they told us that instead of getting someone here to tear the farm down, the barn down, not the farm down, the barn down, that we should sell the barn. And then it was theirs. We was not reliable for it, and let them tear it down. See, because it was such a big thing. The man that bought it was a young man. He brought his kids. You know, kids are like 12, 13 years old, you know. They went on top of that barn and tore them shingles off, you know. I think I got
Wow.
2/3 of my gray
It
hair.
wasn't too bad though, because after you get the first layoff, they see the, had a space about this plant on them boards, and they step in, and they could slip off that. It was pretty.
It was, you know, it was getting old, and from the wind, you know. See, it was so big, you know, and then when we didn't have hay in it, you know, how it'll get empty, you know, towards the spring of the year, you know, you used up all the hay. Why, then the winds we kind of shifted, it was shifting a little bit, you know, so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, you kids is in that barn all over.
Being on the foundation?
It had a basement, too.
Oh, it would just kind of shift it would like make it change shapes.
Yeah.
Our barns would do that too.
Yeah, it's
So we started hooking them together with cables.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people did that. After the barn would shift a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, the wooden, they used wooden pegs, hold them together with pegs. It was
Yeah,
just held
we had
together
wooden
that way.
pigs in ours, didn't we?
Yeah.
In fact, I think I got some wooden pigs around here.
What do they call that kind of construction?
Don't ask me.
They
That
held them
barn-
together with pegs, and then after they'd get old, the wood would swell and shrink and all that. They'd get pretty flexible.
That's right.
So then you had to put a cable in. And you'd connect the cable to the 2 sides of the barn, and you just turn it until it got tighter and tighter and tighter, and you put a stick in it, and that held it down. It's like making an anchor, fence post anchor.
That's right.
Now, what do they call those at the end of the fence row?
What do you call it, corner post, but what do you call that?
At the end of the fence row, where at the corner of the fence where they put the diagonal braces in and the cables, there's a name for that. I used to know what it was.
Yeah.
I'll think
Oh,
of
do
it.
you know too, but you can't think of it right now.
I wasn't here the one area, Salem, Mission, Texas. I got 3 sheds down there.
Well, we didn't have any use
So
for
you're gonna raise more taxes up and carry them barn thing down, because don't need
because
them.
we went out the
Yeah.
pasture, we didn't have cattle.
I can mix one shed out here.
Anymore, and they
Oh,
all
I
stayed
said that.
downstairs in the basement.
Oh, something.
And then, oh, he had his machinery, you know, and hey, you know.
They had machinery in the basement and hay upstairs.
No,
No.
no, cattle in the basement, the machinery on the first
Upstairs.
floor, and the hay upstairs.
And you had chutes where you dumped the hay down to the cattle, right?
You just throwed it down,
You
Let's
just
go down and have the carry boat.
bales, we see we had
20
bales,
foot, throw the pan in a lot.
carried it out the lawn.
had bales. We had chapped hay.
Yeah, that was different.
That's how we stored ours.
We had chutes from the grain bins
Uh-huh.
go down into the basement, like into the hog feeder and stuff like that.
I think most people had bales. I don't know why we had chopped hay. My dad thought it was better.
Yeah, well, could
You
be.
know, you blow it up into the barn, and
A lot of people
We
did,
never
did
did do
actually
that.
did.
a lot of people did or didn't.
They did. But, I always bale the darn stuff. I
Mhm.
thought it'd be handy to feed the cattle.
Handy, yeah, it would be handy.
They take a lot of times real cold, like this whole little hay outside on the field and feed the cattle outside or
Well,
that.
you could do that with bales.
Yeah.
We always fed ours in the barn.
But see, at home, I remember we used to have, you know, this big track up all the way through our barn, you know, from one end to the other.
Grabbing the bales, picking them up.
No, we didn't have bales. It was just, they had this big fork thing, you know. They put that down in the hay, you know, it was loose.
Oh,
And then the clip,
like big ice tongs, eh?
yeah, just like that, you know. And then they had a team of horses on one end, or one horse usually. And then that would pull the rope and the hay up in there, and then when you got where you wanted it, well, then they tripped that big fork thing, you know. That's why they put hay in many years ago. And before that, I guess they
probably
just pitched it.
They probably pitched it up into the hay mound too.
And then we had an old hay loader, you know, this loose hay, you know. And it was just like a great big thing, and it was slanting like this, you know, and it had like a lot of forks on it, you know.
Yeah.
They'd drive around that, pick it up, and all them forks would put it up in the hay wagon.
Yeah, we had one. I always had bad dreams about falling into those forks.
Yeah, oh, did you?
That was, you know, your great fear would be you'd be riding on the tractor in front of this thing. What if you ever fell off the tractor? That thing, the teeth are going around.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what
they're following it.
Right.
And it's following you. Pretty
I
scary.
don't think we was allowed around there, but I remember a lot of times of driving the horse, you know, to pull the, you know, I used to think that was.
I drove the tractor.
I thought the ghost story you put in place made it sound like, when it did all get a little, you know.
Oh, it was, you know, beer there,
Beer there.
you know, really, you know what I mean, you know. And really, we enjoyed it after the fun farm, you know. You can be in the public too much sometimes, you know, when you have family, you know, really.
Yeah.
You don't spend enough time with them, really. We always had our Sundays and everything, you know, but,
What was Gordon like when he was growing up?
what was Gordon like?
Yeah. What did he like to do?
Or what do you like to do? Well, they just fit right in the farm here. They did farm work, and then when they got older, he went and put up hay over here for Valentine and James. He and Doug both, you know, they worked in the summertime. One summer he took them along down to Kansas. He had a lot of wheat farms down there, you know. They always
Yeah, the whole county down in
went
Kansas,
to school.
the farms and they combine,
And,
that big combine.
college. He went 2 years, took him to
Trucks
Montreal
and haul like corn down there. from
down in
to
Missouri, and then he graduated from the University of Nebraska. And he was in ROTC. And he went into the Army.
As an officer.
He kind of wanted to get in the army there, but he got mad because had a big party there, and the old colonel made him put all them guys that buy suits, where'd you do suits in that? His old colonel gave him he had a regular old suit hat on.
Oh.
A couple guys-
Well, you know, after you married, you know,
Yeah,
that's
he's got a bad
you know,
life.
kind of bad life, you know.
Some guys get out of there because we got married there and raised kids. It's kind of hard to get married to family and get in the army very much.
Oh yeah, they don't pay enough to raise a family very well.
No,
I figured that guy got out of it.
I was too. And Doug, then, see, he went into the Air Force, you know, he went to ROC.
Or you used to fly over your farm and see the barn.
Right, and that ain't the only thing. He used to fly over the house so low that the house would shake almost. And then, you know, he'd go up and come right down, put on this show, you know, oh, nice.
He would do that sometimes right before we would leave.
Right,
He
say
would
goodbye
come-
to him.
Yeah. It was
That was
really
a-
neat.
I was hooking over the tractor on the disc and he went over to make that noise and I looked around the south and east and went, I couldn't see him. And he kicked an after, burnt him last sheet up, I couldn't see him, didn't see him.
Odie thought the tractor exploded. It scared him to death. His back
Oh,
turned.
boy.
The neighbors used to say, what does he do? Drop off his laundry every week? Oh, God, he used to get so scared.
He doesn't fly anymore though, does he?
No, see, he retired from the,
Where does he live now?
he lives in Lincoln.
So,
But he was with the Airbirds then after, you know.
The Air National Guard?
Yeah. And he was 20 years. He retired from that now. So he'll get a pension now when he's 60?
Yeah.
60. He really still. He'll get a big pension.
That's good.
Yeah. He had a high commission.
Hmm.
Really. I think he was glad to get out of it though.
Oh, we ought to go to bed.
Well, I need to then.
I guess we can talk all night and keep talking, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Good, I'd be getting it all on tape too.
Yeah. I want to hear that.